it caused a rift between Tyrese and I because he wanted to hang to become best friends and really have this chemistry. People see the movie and thought that we thick as thieves. They're like, man, y'all was great. That was, and it was acting. You know what I mean? We actually fell out because, the actual incident was he said, yo, I want you to come to my house and hang out with me and, stay the night and this. And I was just like, no, you can come to my house and hang out with me. And he's like, cool. And he shows up at my house and I got a room full of cats, the whole living room's full of people and it's a party. And he's just like, look, man, I'm trying to get there. We actually almost butted heads and we just really, kind of went at each other. And I was like, I see you on set for the job, and I had to take some responsibility for that because, again, I was real standoffish with everybody. John Singleton, I'm trying to get to know you. If you invited me out to drink, sure, or have a dinner and discuss the role or something, fine. But let's go hang out and chill. No, I got my people to hang out and chill. I need to focus on this role and I need to stay locked in, right? But there is a middle ground.
Yeah, and it seems like just a lot of layers and a lot of things to think about when you're going in and out. And also, too, even like the way that you did it kind of felt like method acting when you just like really immerse yourself in your character. But I do understand also just taking that accountability of how it can also impact others. Now, I know there was something between you and Tyrese and maybe others, but have you and Tyrese talked since then or since that movie, it was just kind of that's where it ended?
No. We cool now. I mean,
okay.
I think, initially it was something, but it was, I don't hold grudges like that. You know what I mean? I'll tell a story about it, this and that and the third, but even then, his career flourished, mine flourished. Everybody did great. You know what I mean? Well. So it wasn't like, oh man, that's this guy, but yeah, he gave me a call and it's funny, man, and I keep him in my prayers because I know he's battling a lot. But he had called me right before the pandemic hit. And I went to his house and we sat down and he had this really good idea, this really great concept on how to do not so much a sequel because John Singleton had already passed, but it was an idea of combining all of the movies in the South Central world into one script idea. You know what I mean? And I think the only problem with it was just all of the movies, that were directed and produced by different companies and how, but he got all of the actors to sign off on it. So it was a great idea that he had, but I need to have another conversation with him because I have an idea on how to fix it. I may just be spilling the beans on it, but it's what it is. It was great to see him. And again, every time I see him, so I've seen him a few times after that.
Yeah, no, and I was gonna say, what I love of how when you brought him up was just like, sending him well wishes because you understand what he's going through because right now, and I don't know if you've been seeing that Tyrese has been in these headlines, obviously, from his marriage and those things, but also what we see with him and DJ Envy and, that whole back and forth. And we talked about it on the show, and honestly, it was just one of those things where for me, seeing two black men go head and head in that type of light, it was just like, I wish you could handle it, behind closed doors. Y'all, you take care of that and not in the limelight, especially given what Tyrese has experienced. But I love from your perspective, do you think the criticism that he's receiving, do you think it's fair being that and not specifically just DJ Envy, just in general, the general public, criticizing Tyrese, do you think it's fair, the criticism that Tyrese is getting, the backlash that he's getting? What are your thoughts there?
I'm not sure how people deal with, how do I phrase this? Like I have a very close friend of mine too. If he has anything wrong with him, if something happens, if he's not feeling well, so forth, he'll go to Facebook and make a post about it. Now everyone's in his business and now they're calling him and saying, hey man, I wish you well. And I'm sorry you were feeling down. And people will call me and be like, yo man, you need to go see him. I think he's like, trying to, it's like, what? Why would he post it then? So it's one of those things where if you're worried about the criticism, don't post that shit. Like let's keep it to yourself, So I some of it, a lot of it for me is a cry for attention, but it's a cry for help in the only way you know how. You might not have the right people around you. You don't have a team. You obviously don't have a support system. You know what I mean? If I'm going through something that deep, I'm on my knees. You know what I mean? I'm praying to God. I'm taking my time with him and saying, Lord, let me quiet myself and hear the right solution, the right answer to this. You know what I mean? As opposed to help me, y'all. Somebody reach out to me. I need this. Or why is this guy doing this? Or so forth and so on. If it's not a publicity thing, if you're not a rapper selling an album, then I don't think you should be airing your business out there anyhow. And a lot of people fall victim to that. I've worked with some other entertainers and celebrities that do that. I'm just like, why are you making a post about this? Because then all the comments, they just go rip you apart. And now it's out there. You know what I mean? Now, if it's something that gets caught on tape that you have to defend, sure. But if you're putting it out there, then you're going to have to accept what comes back.
Yeah, and a lot of people felt like Tyrese was kind of in the limelight because he's, just trying to promote his album and things like that. But do you think it's more so that, or do you think he's genuinely crying out for help in the way that he knows?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the two. I don't know him well enough to know exactly. You know what I mean? I know whenever I see him, because a lot of times, you'll see somebody and be like, "Oh man, I got to get around them and look them in the eye and see what's what." And what I see face to face is like, "Oh, you fine. You got this under control." You know what I mean? So maybe you're putting on a bit. So a lot of people, like I said, some people just like attention in that way. I've been more of a private person as far as my personal life and myself. So it's like when it gets out, you have to defend it. You have to talk about, like, I have no problem. People say, "Oh, you want to talk about the questions? You want me to answer questions with interviews and stuff?" I'm like, "Man, ask me whatever," because I don't know how to censor myself. I'll figure it out. You see me looking this way and I go, should I say that? Yeah, I'm gonna say that. It just be on the fly. You're a great interviewer. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because maybe I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, but I think for the most part, he's a grown man. He knows.